Hello everyone! I sit next to my classic Range Rover. When I bought this off-roader, the power memory seat for the driver's side and the power mirrors were not operational. And I think that this little part will help to fix it. I'm not an expert here, this is the first Range Rover that I own, but I think that I can manage it. So in today's video I will show you how I will do it. The previous owner left these workshop manuals in the trunk of the Range Rover, so I think they will be a great help in figuring out how to remove the front seat and how to remove the ECU for the memory seats. So I have found a section on how to remove front seats and now I will do it. Before I start, I have to disconnect a negative battery terminal. If you have the original head unit in your Range Rover, it might ask for the code after you reconnect this battery terminal. In my case, the previous owner told me that it has been already disabled. I've spent around 40 minutes trying to get this seat into the right position to remove these back bolts. Actually, it's not that difficult. You have only to undo these cables from the motors which move the seat, but it's not a lot of place there. And my tip for you is at first adjust the height, then adjust the position of the seat front to back, because I moved it to the front at first and then I didn't want to move it back again, so I struggled a lot to get to the other motors to take the cables out so I can put the seat in a higher position. But eventually I did it, and now I need to unbolt the last bolts. That's it. And now I believe I have to take out this thing. that's it.
So I washed my hands, had a delicious lunch, and now I will open and see what's inside this ECU box. Okay. Oh, you touch my ta-la-la. I see some damage. Oh my boy. It's not good at all. This battery, it leaked its contents everywhere. So I got the old battery out, but unfortunately, well, at least to me, this ECU, the board of the ECU looks, well, kind of destroyed. And I don't know if it can be recovered. Okay, so it's a week later now, and I've got this ECU back from the guy who repaired it for me. He gave me no warranty on that job because I paid him nothing, but you know, the lines were corroded and damaged, so he had to rewire them. So you can see now a new battery, everything is cleaned up. He had to remove the chip nearby the battery because it was all corroded under it. So he resoldered it back, and so now I will assemble it and test it out on a car. So now I've put in the repaired ECU into the seat, and now I have to test it out. Actually, I've tested out before and I think that it works. I can hear the motors working. The only thing that it doesn't work is forward. I can hear that motor clicks, but it doesn't move forward. So maybe it's not the fault of the ECU, maybe it's just a fault of the motor. But I am so happy that it works now. Okay, so now I will have to, oh my god, now I will have to install this seat again into its place, and it's a, well, it's not a kind of job you want to do, to be honest. Now, as I've mentioned before, my seat does not move forward, and the tilt doesn't work up. So now I will have to do some tests to see if this is still an ECU problem or a motor problem. I believe that it is an ECU problem because the same motor moves back, but it doesn't move forward, and the switch is okay. When I push the switch, I can hear something click, or it's in the ECU or in some relay, I don't know, but still something is clicking after I push the switch, so it means that the switch itself is all right. But I believe that the ECU is still still not 100% in a working condition. But for now I will leave it as it is, because the guy who repaired it for me, he said that he cannot really do anything more about it. To do this test now, I need to take a socket which comes from the ECU to the seat motors, and to test if there is voltage in the pins when I push the switch. So if there is voltage, it means that the ECU is okay and that there's something wrong with the motors. So if I push the switch for the seat to go back, it works. If I push it forward, nothing here happens. That pretty much means that there is still something wrong with the ECU. Now the same for the rear tilt. Up, nothing. Down, voltage. Okay, so my ECU is still cooked. So the problem is like 70% gone, but it's still here. Now I can recline the seat with no problem. I can tilt the front part, but I cannot drive the seat any forward. I could drive it back, but now it's as far back as it can go, and I also cannot tilt this rear part of the seat. I can tilt it down but not up, and my mirrors also work 50%. I can move them right and down but not left and up, and as tests have shown, it's still the ECU issue. I'm not really in the mood to remove the seat again, and the guy who tried to fix the ECU for me said that he really cannot do anything more. There might be some damaged components, and if I want to have it 100% working, I need to like get new chips and maybe even something else. So he cannot do it until I find those new chips. But for now, I will leave it as it is, because now finally I can sit comfortably here, and it's good enough for me for now. Well, I hope you still found something useful here in this video. If you did, you can like this video, you can subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you for watching, and see you next time when I will be removing the bumpers and some other metal parts to get them sandblasted and powder coated. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.